All right, let's go.
You have it in front of you now so you can see it?
I got it so I can see it when it goes dead on us.
Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Welcome all of my best friends in the whole entire universe. This is Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, a.k.a. the Bottle Cap Kid, a.k.a. the Black Magistrate. And across from me sits the ever-panting, ever-out-of-breath, completely out of shape.
That's right.
Blake Clayton, Captain Philip Rest-Assure himself. Why are you out of breath now?
I'm sorry. I just ran from the pilot's lounge up to the cockpit.
Let's cut the shit. Let's cut the shit right now, okay?
Okay.
We got 40 minutes into the last episode, and something went wacky, and now you're trying to recreate a bit from before. Let's cut the horse shit, okay? We're better than this.
That I even said as we were pushing record, I'm not going to try.
We're better than this, okay?
Okay.
That's one that's lost to the ages. Right. You were out of breath. You said you talked to DSJ and that something was wrong with him. And you know what? That might be the case, but we're well beyond that now.
We can't talk about it now. It's over and done with. All right, here we go.
Over and done.
All right, my name is Philip Rest-Assure. Hey, Black Magnet.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on, buddy?
Just real quick, sifting through garbage to get bottle caps. And I'm not even going to elaborate on that. Just know that I am a crazy person who collects bottle caps and have recently sifted through garbage to get to them. and now I will be responsible for the death of the podcasting god himself. Amen, Blake Clayton. You all right?
Oh, my God.
What?
That was so funny.
Yeah.
But just for me and you.
Just for you and I. Because before when we recorded, I told a story about how I sifted through trash to get to bottle caps.
We got to get back on the rail.
What a nightmare of events.
It was. I almost committed. I got to the brink of suicide.
Oh, but I didn't realize that.
So much that the stewardess had to come and sit in the cockpit with us.
Thank God there was pizza here for you to consume too.
Oh, just gorge on it. Just gorged it.
How many pieces did you eat?
4 or 5.
And that was like 10 minutes. That's like a piece every 2 minutes.
Well, I've noticed lately, now that I'm in my 40s, early 40s that is,
whoops,
I have emotional eating.
Oh, okay. Well, elaborate on that, please.
Well,
we didn't talk about this last episode.
No, it's what it's what fat people do. Mm-hmm. A lot of fat people.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm on the board.
You're working towards.
I'm on the brink. I'm on the brink of
becoming a huge fat guy.
Yeah. When I'm stressed,
mm-hmm.
when I'm bored.
What's your go-to?
When I'm hold on, I'm not done yet.
I'm sorry.
When I'm happy, when I'm horny,
mm-hmm.
when I'm sad, when I am tired,
guilty,
when I'm guilty,
innocent,
when I'm ecstatic. I'm never innocent. I eat and 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 I eat.
So basically, on the full spectrum of emotions, you are ready to gorge yourself.
Gorge, yes, gorge.
With ample food stuff.
I'm going to prime the pump with food.
Now, that certainly can't be the phrase. I'll have to Google it. Not funny to anyone except us. This is Inside Jokecast, starring Jason and Blake. You are not welcome, listener.
Get out.
Turn back now. What do you eat though when you're every emotion?
Cookies, Little Debbie's, pizza, candy.
By my book, those
bye book.
That's all book. Those are all terrible things.
Oh yeah.
Now,
oh yeah.
Are you upset by this? Are you okay with it?
I'm very upset by it. It makes me even more depressed.
Why do you bring these things into the house?
My emotions?
First of all, why do you bring your emotions in the house? And second of all, why do you bring these horrible processed food junks into your house?
I don't do the shopping.
Who does?
Molly.
Why does she bring this stuff in the house?
Because she wants me to get a big, huge fat, just be disgustingly
Why?
fat, so all the ladies don't want me anymore.
So you're just such a hot property that she's
Right,
taking
because-
the clay that is Blake Clayton and molding it into something unappealing to other people.
For like 3 weeks, I had like dad bod, and I knew chicks were just going to be all up on this
Right.
shit. But then it went over that like quickly, and now it's like I need suspenders soon.
Those are coming back, by the way.
Thank God.
You're on the vanguard of that. I'd tell her, hey, stop bringing all this shit into my house. I don't want to eat this crap. That's what I would say.
My house.
Hey, just a suggestion.
Sure, I'll try it.
Okay.
I'll try it next time.
Okay. Well, I am so excited to be again. On
Have
this.
you ever coughed so hard that you think you popped blood vessels on the roof of your mouth?
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
Okay.
Did that just happen to you?
Yeah.
Can you taste iron in your mouth right now? Like it's blood pooling?
Yeah, kind of.
Do we need to stop the show again to maybe seek medical attention?
No, it'll stop itself, obviously.
The mouth is the quickest healing of all the body parts.
Really?
So says Lever 2000.
Oh. You don't put Lever 2000 in your mouth.
Well, they're working on that too. They'll get there. They say, you know what? We've got 2,000 body parts covered, right?
2000.
And they said, "Where's some other? Surely there's more body parts in 2,000 inside the mouth." So I said,
Lever 2001.
that's right. That's what they're working on. Edible soap. It's closer than you think.
Would you?
Is that what you want to say? That
No.
I'm so excited to be here with you today.
For an extended period of time this time.
Right. So we're really recording 2.5 episodes this evening, which is more than we usually do, and more than I usually care to do.
Because you usually complain about spending time with me,
I don't like it.
and now you're having to spend even more time with
I'm
me.
forced. I almost feel like you did it on purpose to get more Jason time, and I don't
Could
know why
be.
that is. I'm not a very friendly guy.
She hates me.
What's that? Your wife hates you?
She hates me.
And so more time with me, the less time with her. Is that your
She hates
math?
me.
Why does she hate you? Is it because of all your eating?
She hits me.
She hits you.
Yes, that's what I've been saying.
For plenty of episodes, you've talked about hitting her, but when she's hitting you, I almost say it's good that she's fighting back.
It's not. It's not.
Self-defense.
It's not spousal abuse if you're both punching each other.
Well, they cancel each other out.
Right.
So-
Negative times a negative equals a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take your word for it.
But you know math?
What's that?
Math. Negative times a negative equals a positive.
I've never done a single math problem.
Your dad was a mathematician.
That's what turned me off to it.
That makes sense.
That's what turned me off to it. I'm all about religious studies.
Name what's your favorite religious study?
Meshach and Abednego. Meshach, Rorschach, and Abednego. I like those guys.
Tell us the story about that. The biblical story about that.
Well, it was a parable that it was from the Old Testament, so it wasn't one of the ones that Jesus talked about. But they went to the Pharaoh and they asked for grain for their family, and he said no. And then he threw them within Daniel in the lion's den, and then the lions let him be.
And then they put frankincense and myrrh all over them and behind their ears.
That may be. You might have read the King James version. I'm a New International Version guy, but. What happened there is they had the power of God with them.
Sure, yeah.
And so the lion left them alone,
Yeah.
and the Pharaoh eventually got fed up with it and said, take your grain and go. And so because they had the power of God.
Take your grain and go. You know, I had two ex-wives say that to me.
Take your grain and go. That was the grain of metaphor, or did you actually hoard grain?
One said, I'm taking your grain, and I'm fucking a guy.
Oh, and now you go.
Right, yeah, now you go.
Huh. Well, see, and
I'm
that's...
pregnant, and it's not your child.
And you want to know that... And that's why the Bible is such a powerful tool, because here we are 2,000 years later, and you can make direct parallels between your life and Meshach, Rorschach, and Abednego.
That's a good song.
Three bad brothers.
You know so well. Started way back in history with that rock, MCA and Me Mike D.
I like those guys, too. Were the Beastie Boys in the Bible?
Oh, yes. Well, they were the three wise men.
No, they weren't. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're stewardess. What's she, American Airlines?
Why? What happened?
You give her this universal sign for blow my nose, and she just looks at you and just does it back to you.
Use your sleeve like a man. Ruin that hoodie in front of me. Okay. So, I don't know, this is bizarre banter.
It's weird.
Bruce Banner.
We're out of whack.
We're out of wax.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
All right. It's a podcast. We're doing a podcast here, and let me thank you if you are here to fulfill some kind of community service. Should I even read this?
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it.
No, read it.
No, I'm not going to read it. I'm not reading this. I read it before. It's lost to the ages. I write that part kind of joking around about what we do at the show, but all we do is we watch pilot episodes.
You are cashing in. You are just giving up on this episode. We're only 10 minutes in. You're giving
That's
up.
a lot of banter.
But you're giving in. You're just like, fuck it.
No, I'm not. I'm pulling a
We bantered
Seinfeld.
for 30 minutes.
I'm pulling a Louis C.K., and I am tossing all the old stuff to the side, and I'm starting anew.
Okay, all right.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not
I
giving up.
didn't know you could create off the fly. That's fine. Go
You
ahead.
didn't know that? Talk to the low blow guys. We're the superior improvers. They'll never listen to this. Couch Pilots is a podcast where we say, hey, everything under the sun has been done. Here's a beautiful sun, golden round sun. We all orbit around it, and everything under it has been done podcast-wise.
Sure.
And we said, you know what? Not quite. Hit the brakes. Not yet.
Prime that pump.
Pump the prime, if you will, and say there's a couple stones left unturned. So we stuck our knife in the ground, and we flipped that stone over, and what's underneath it? Pilot episodes of TV shows where they only made one, and then they didn't make any more because it sucked, or someone didn't pick it up,
or
something went wrong.
Yep.
Or they didn't even show it to begin with.
Right. That happens. That's what we call the golden fail.
That's the gold standard of Couch Pilots. So we look these up, and we watch them, we talk about them, and then we present them to you in this audio format. You can stream us, you can download us, whatever the hell you want to do.
You can go to iTunes.
Go to iTunes.
Google Music.
Go to Google Music. It exists now, and we're on there.
Any podcast app, just subscribe.
That's
Couch Pods
absolutely
Podcast.
right. So what are we listening to today? Today is another unsuccessful try at the science fiction comedy genre, Galaxy Beat, from the year of our Lord, 1994. Good year.
It was a good year for the roses.
For the roses? What's that?
It was a good year for the roses.
What are the roses?
Oh, they're a flower that you give somebody that you love.
So you're talking? Okay, I thought it was like a sports team or something. It's not.
No, it's when your partner dies.
When your partner dies?
And you get flower, you get roses for the
bereavement.
No, yeah, when you put on the casket, you put the roses on the casket. Good year for the roses. Like,
so are you saying
finally rid of that bitch?
High death rate that year? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's just it's what people say when their spouse dies. That finally dies, and they're tired of them, and they say, "Yep, it's a good year for the roses." It's like a pretty way to say, "I'm glad that bitch is gone."
I have never heard that. Why would you say that though about 1994?
It was a good year for the roses.
Did someone die that year that you wanted to be rid of?
No, I wish there was a couple people that died.
Are they still alive today?
Ooh, yeah, unfortunately.
Wow, 22 years later.
None of my wishes come true. I have a genie, and the genie just says no.
Now, you can feed me a bunch of lines, but you do not have a genie.
In a bottle.
Well, how did you come across this?
I rubbed it the right way.
I see.
I got it.
How old was Christina Aguilera when that song came out?
15.
I can't say what I was about to say then. That's
Sure.
fine. That's fine.
1994 was what we're talking.
How old were you that year?
I was 19.
I was 13.
I had just graduated from East Peoria Community High School.
I've never been there.
You're a fucking asshole.
Let's not try to recreate magic. This is an organic podcast.
It's an organic podcast, but there's still facts that are interesting and true about me.
Okay. Well, we got this far before, and I did. I said that I went to East Peoria High School as well, so we're both alumni of the same school. I thought you went to Pekin or something.
No, I didn't. I never went to Pekin.
You went all 4 years East Peoria.
Yes.
Did you leave your mark on that school?
No. Nobody even knew I was there. They have revivals. What do they call those?
Revivals.
They have revivals.
High school reunions.
High school reunions. They don't even know I'm alive.
Where was your locker?
It was on the second floor.
Me too.
Going up the stairs, the window stairs, across from the cafeteria.
That's C hallway.
C hallway, and it was about 3 going down C hallway from the stairs.
Yep.
It was probably the third section on the left. It was right in front of the computer guy. The teacher had a beard and a mustache.
Was it Gus Contos?
Mr. Contos?
Yeah.
Was he a younger guy or older guy?
He's a dark-skinned fella.
Oh, no.
He's like Mediterranean, perhaps.
I don't know. We used to play Nerf basketball, and he used to get so mad at us. But that's where it was. Where was yours?
2A, back by the music room.
Old school.
It was old school, and he got Driscoll back there, Mr. Driscoll. He was he's the the music guy, and he was like the coolest guy on the planet. He's the coolest dude ever.
He was cool.
Uh-oh.
For me, Mrs. Stone was the coolest.
Oh yeah. Now her husband,
Mr. Stone.
Keith Stone,
Yes.
dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I dated the foreign exchange student, and she was part of the Rotary Club with Keith Stone was like the head of or something, or like heavily involved with. And she was pretty upset when he passed away a couple years ago.
Wow.
But
it's good to see that people get upset.
It's good to feel that people have emotions and don't always turn to eating.
Right, because I fear like when I die, nobody's going to be upset. They're going to have a revival, and they're not even going to care.
Just people in your school or in your life in general?
I really only focus on the people that I went to school with. I really don't care about the people in my life.
All the more cause to eat.
Eat like a banshee.
You're never going to stop eating.
Never.
And we're never going to stop discussing.
How old were you?
I was 13.
What was going on in your life?
Pubic hair. I got all the pubic hairs.
You got all of them?
I woke up one morning and it was just
wow.
like I was getting
Did it make that sound?
Like I was getting blown by a black chick. There's a big puff of pubic hair down there. Nice. It made that sound. I woke up this morning to the explosion of pubes.
And that wasn't a racist comment because you like black women giving you oral sex.
I can't, even if I wanted to be racist towards black people, I can't because I've been sexually involved with them. Same thing with Asian women. I can't. Sometimes I'm driving down the road and I see one veer off to the side. I said, I so badly want to be racist right now, but I can't because I've been with an Asian woman.
Sure.
So yeah,
Hey,
I'm immune to
both of us
racism.
have.
High five that. Nice five. What are we doing here? We are 1994. Just real quick, we'll run through these. Just for the sake of the show. We've already commented on all of them.
Stop cashing in.
Olympic figure skater Nancy Kerrigan attacked.
Why me?
Why her? Who gives a shit why you? O.J. Simpson arrested in the killings of his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and quote-unquote friend, Ronald Goldman. That was her boyfriend. She was sleeping with him. They weren't friends. Just call it a boyfriend.
Why, if you're married to O.J. Simpson, all that money, all that fame, why are you going to have sex with a waiter?
I think he cut her head off or something, right? I don't know what were they getting divorced? Were they separated? I don't even know their situation. Were they still married?
I don't remember. That's an interesting fact.
That's pretty. You know what? Maybe we should do a series, a limited run series on the People versus O.J. Simpson. Then we could really get into it.
Yeah, then we would get some downloads.
Hey, there's something I heard of and like. ER and Friends debut on NBC, establishing NBC's dominance of the Thursday night lineup.
Did you like ER?
Loved it.
Really?
I love it. I love
George Clooney,
Hunk, Eric LaSalle, Anthony Edwards, Sherry Stringfield,
Cyndi Lauper. She was in that one episode.
Boy, I don't remember that one. I'll take your word for it. Is that the one with the bird shat in her mouth?
Yeah, Eddie Money.
He was shaken, I remember. The only reason he got there is because he had to go through O'Hare because he had 2 tickets to Paradise, and he lived in a small town, so he had to go through O'Hare to get to Paradise.
Exactly.
And he had a little trouble, so he had to stop by there.
Friends, I watched a lot of episodes of Friends, and it's basically because I had a girlfriend or something.
Girlfriends
that liked it, or I was just trying to get in their pants. So
yeah, that's the only reason to watch that kind of Friends. Friends is one of those shows that did not age well. You go back and watch, you're like, oh, this isn't really very funny.
No, and the character depth was very they were kind of cool back then, but now when you watch it, you're like, you're fucking annoying. I wouldn't want to be your roommate.
It's a modern day equivalent for me of like The Big Bang Theory or 2.5 Men. It's just this kind of very mainstream kind of, and I don't care for it. I tell you who though got a little crush on Lisa Kudrow.
Real, yeah, I think so too. I think it was her personality. I saw her recently. She was in Unbreakable with Kimmy Schmidt.
Fine bottle of wine. Is she aging well?
No, she plays Kimmy Schmidt. She plays Kimmy Schmidt's mom.
Oh no, she's not that old, is she?
She plays Kimmy Schmidt's mom, and she does not look banging. Her body looks banging.
Well, that's all I want.
Her body look. I mean, they probably just wrapped it up tight in a pair of jeans and a nice tight shirt. You can see a lot of times you can fold that stuff in the back and then banana clip it.
That what? There is some truth to that. I was so happy to see the new Pee Wee Herman movie on Netflix, and I saw some behind the scenes stuff because you watch it and you're like, he looks older, but he looks really good. He still definitely looks like Pee Wee Herman, or as my daughter calls him, Peenie Harmon.
Oh, is that because of her Asian accent?
Right. I saw a picture behind the scenes, and he has like tape on his neck and like a clamp in some kind of clamp. That is a real thing.
Wow.
Where people clamp their sagging skin. I feel so bad. He's like 63 years old. You know that?
That's crazy. I feel older and older every day. When you say like Pee Wee Herman's 63, I'm like, no, he's not. He's like 30.
He's forever 30, and that is kind of the gimmick of Pee Wee Herman, right? He's just forever man-child. This lovable young lad.
Well, they'll never be able to make another movie now because once he hits 70, you can't. I mean, that banana clip is going to be way too big. You'll see it on all the shots.
That was tough to see. Let's see. Okay, there's some movies came out. Kurt Cobain killed himself. Great. That happened in 1994. Thanks a lot, Kurt.
Do you really? I don't think he was really all that.
I disagree.
Really?
Mean, you die young, you cement yourself as a legend, but you listen back to some of those songs, and they were really catchy.
I'm so happy because today I found my friend.
Maybe not that one.
An albino, a mosquito. I got a high libido.
Okay.
I'm in denial.
My friends say, hey, what's one of your favorite video games of all time? I say, you know what I really like? I like Grand Theft Auto 3. I say, why not Grand Theft Auto 1? Why not the newest one, Grand Theft Auto 5? Why don't you like those games? I say, because Grand Theft Auto 3, it broke the mold. It was an open-world sandbox game when it had not been done before like that. It was fully 3D, interactive. It was incredible for the time. It broke the freaking mold, and hundreds of games have copied it over the years since. Have there been better versions of it? Sure, but I like that one the best because it broke the mold. And for me, that's what Nirvana did. With Kurt Cobain at its head, it broke the mold of what was happening in popular music at the time and sent it in a completely different direction. Was he the best thing out there? Maybe not. Did he have a lot more inside of him that could have been good or popular?
Probably not.
I think he had more. He definitely had more, if you ask me. He absolutely would have gone through some kind of shit phase or something, a couple albums that stunk up the joint. But someone like that has got it in them. They made probably like 2 or 3 really incredible albums, and that's more than most people can do. That's my thoughts on Nirvana.
All right. I won't take it from you.
Okay.
You're drinking beer, and I know you get kind of edgy when you drink a couple of beers.
Do I really? Yeah, I know you got mad at the last meeting we had. Like I was being a dick to you. I hope you don't feel that way.
What last meeting?
The FCF meeting?
No, not at all. I don't
Okay.
think I wasn't mad at you at all.
Oh, you were mad at me. Well, we'll take that off, Mike.
No, I wasn't mad at anybody.
Oh, anyway. Whew. Thank God. Okay, let's get off of that. Jesus. Why did we choose Galaxy Beat?
There's 3 reasons and a phantom.
You really like that phantom, don't you? You like that phrase.
Well, hey, I'm a menace, right? So what are you gonna do? So the Phantom is it's got to be from the 90s because we're on season 3 of Couch Pilots, which is the 1990s. But that one changes from each season, so you can't really count that as a structured, solid pillar of
right.
Couch Pilots.
It's not something we look at it doesn't always have to be from the 90s.
Right.
The first 10 episodes, 70s, second 10 episodes, 80s, and now we're in the middle of the third decade, the 90s.
It has to be a pilot that never made it to series. We're not going to watch shows that were successful.
Been there, done that.
Boring. It has to be free. Obviously, we're not going to pay to watch these shows, and we're not going to charge you for listening to us for watching these shows.
I like to joke that we're masochists and we watch some crap shows because we enjoy the pain.
Oh, I loved it. I love the pain.
I know you. What did you mention last? You like Lucy and the Peanuts. You like
No, women like Lucy. I like women like Lucy
because she gives pain to men, and you like
yes,
pain.
Yes, mental abuse, physical abuse. I love that. Emotional abuse, big time.
Yeah. Well, I think that if we were to go out of our way to pay for these episodes, that would really cement the fact that we're masochists.
Sure.
If going into it knowing that this had failed and it's probably not very good, and we spent money on it, oh my God.
Well, this show wouldn't be going on anymore.
Oh my God.
We're already in the negative on our budget.
Right. Whoops.
There's a donate button on FCFnetwork.com.
It's getting dusty. Please wipe it off and press it.
We like to keep continuing. And then the third and final is that we had to find it.
Yeah, it's got to be available to be seen. Absolutely. So you're probably saying, hey, where can I watch this? And that's a great question. And I have a milquetoast answer for you. It's pretty much the answer I give almost every episode. You can find the entire episode of Galaxy Beat by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice. And then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or you can go to YouTube and search Galaxy Beat. So we'll do whatever you want.
I liked people to use our show notes links because in the interwebs and how it's connected, it makes us.
It's easier for them too.
It's easier for them. But
if you subscribe, then all you have to do is refresh. Boom! There's the episode. Then I click on the show notes and there's next week's show. There's next week's pilot episode that I can watch, and then when they start talking about it, I'll know exactly what they're talking about.
Right.
You'll be in on the conversation.
You'll be in like Flynn, and you won't have to miss an episode of unrecorded, unbearable stuff.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
See you later, DSJ.
See you on the other side, old friend.
He's very droopy.
He is sad. I know we said we wouldn't really get into that, but he is sad, and I feel bad for him, and we need to find out what's going on.
I don't know how you can be sad. You make six figures.
Yeah.
You get to hang out with us once a week.
Yeah.
You are a roadie for Led Zeppelin tribute band.
And he whitewashes trays at McDonald's.
Living a life. Single guy.
Not a care in the world, really.
Well, hopefully we'll find out what's wrong.
We'll get to the bottom.
I mean, he was tearing up. I mean,
See, I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything I can eat?
I have plenty of...
Summary of the pilot.
Sir, yes, sir.
Dak is one of the best starship captains out there. That's why Chief reassigns him to the worst sector of the galaxy to fight evil aliens instead of promoting him. Feeling betrayed, Dak wants to quit, but his rag'em-a-tag crew inspires him.
Excellent summary.
Great summary.
I just want to say, for folks that are listening to us for the first time, and they're possibly going, these guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
They don't know
what they're doing.
They have conjunctivitis. They're not in a rhythm at all.
What is conjunctivitis?
It's when you're podcasting with your friend and you're not in the same rhythm. You're not like...
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just know that the 45 minutes that we recorded prior to this, radio gold.
It was we thought it was recorded.
Recordable gold.
Speaking of, are we recording still?
Yeah, there's still a red light. Great summary. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I want people to go back and listen to other episodes as well, just to get a good feel as a whole. Don't take one episode as your case study.
Right. This is not the episode by which all other episodes should be judged. We at the end of the day, when we finally land that plane for the last time, we hope that Couch Pilots is judged as a whole and not by our individual efforts, because, goddamn it, they add up to something more. The sum of the parts is greater, or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Just like women in the workplace.
Okay, well, explain that.
Huh?
Women are better in the workplace?
No. Their
parts are better.
Their parts, like their boobs.
Yeah.
Their leg when they wear a short skirt and a long high heels, like those high heels that are so high that basically their foot looks like it's just parallel to the ground.
I like that.
Yep, that's the sum of the parts that I like.
I'm with you on that. That's interesting to me. Just like this next section, interesting facts.
Nope.
It's the section where we dig a little deeper. And we provide you with things that aren't talked about in the show, behind the scenes pieces of information.
Pull back that curtain.
We pull it back. We reveal the underneath we pull back the epidermis, and we get to see the muscles working underneath. You like that?
Yeah, tickle that epidermis. Oh, my tongue.
Yeah, gross. All I can think about is exposed muscle arm and you licking it.
Oh, I thought that was. Oh, that's clitoris.
That is different from epidermis.
Am I reaching?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think I am.
Okay.
I think you just don't. You're too nice to tell me.
Live with it. These facts are the truth, and I know they're the truth because I copied it and then pasted them from internet. And internet is always true.
Everything.
And something that we can't do during this section is allow people to dilute the facts with their opinions.
That's probably the toughest part of this show is we're providing you a service for free, and we're giving you above and beyond.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're gonna state a bunch of facts here,
right?
You're not gonna go. Here's an interesting fact for you. Blah blah blah.
Isn't that great? Don't you love that fact?
Man, I'm a better person now knowing that fact. No.
Jump in front of a bus.
Get the fuck out of here. Just don't listen. If you think these are interesting facts,
great.
Don't tell us.
I don't want to hear it. But
I don't
fantastic.
care.
I hope you enjoy all of this show, including the interesting facts section, but I don't want to hear a damn word about what you think about during this section.
Exactly. And people don't get it. People on our Facebook page, those are some interesting facts. What the fuck are you doing?
I've read some of those comments, and they are deeply disturbing. Why are you blatantly going against what we're saying?
Right. It's like, it's like when you're in school and like your mom says, don't do heroin. And then you come home all fucked up on heroin. It's like,
it happens to everybody.
Don't be a dick.
It happens to everybody. So let's just dig right in. And remember, keep your comments to yourself, please, everyone. Reserve them for the end of the show. Reserve them for, I don't know. And at night before you go to bed, you're writing in your journal. Write it in there. I don't want to see it, though. Don't make a facsimile to me. I don't want to see it.
No.
This show stars Gregory Harrison as Dax Steelbrow. And Greg is one of those actors who you'd probably never, ever, forever recognize. He is guest starred in like every single cable drama on the planet, including Rizzolian Isles, NCIS, One Tree Hill, and the Friends spinoff with Matt LeBlanc, Joey.
I think he was in a lot of like Lifetime movies too. He's like the hunky 40-plus-year-old guy that all the girls fall in love with.
It's like they got a factory in Hollywood somewhere, and they're just stamping out kind of these template hunky male actors, and it's like, oh yeah, go ahead, go be in a Lifetime special, go be in a Hallmark Channel exclusive.
And that's why we didn't. A lot of people said, hey, if you guys are going to do this podcast, it would be great if you guys moved to Hollywood, because then you could have former Hollywood starlets on the show.
So if you want to be on the show so bad, you come to us,
right? Because if we go there, we're just going to get put in all these movies, make all this money. Yep. Fuck that, man.
No, I don't want to be in movies or make money. The show also stars...
We're doing great at both.
Yeah, we're doing just fine here. Stars Tracy Scoggins as Sheila Fleckstein, and you would know her from nothing at all except her vivacious body and maybe a few Sci-Fi Channel shows.
Sure, I don't watch a lot of sci-fi. I'm not really into sci-fi, but I love boobs.
Yeah, and if the Sci-Fi Channel turned into a bunch of boobs and like just like aliens, I'd watch it.
No, I'd fuck every alien on that show.
Also stars Alec Desart as Larry Longspan. And I say his name that way because he's got a little slash over the E in dessert.
That means French. That means it's French.
Alex French Dessert as Larry Longspan. What is a good French dessert? Like a tiramisu, right? That's French.
Tara what?
Tiramisu? Have you never had a tiramisu?
Never had it. I like French silk pie.
Oh, what about French silk fries?
No.
No?
No. There used to be a buffet down on the river behind Sears, long time ago, and they had the best French silk pie.
Who was it? What was the name of the place? Ponderosa?
No, it was
Ponderosa was on Glen, right?
Yeah, this one was on the river. Man, I don't even remember, but it was so good. They had glass. I mean, like glass bowls and stuff.
Wow. What a classy joint.
It was classy.
Larry Longspan, you'd probably recognize him. He was on like over 100 episodes of Becker. Did you ever watch Becker with Ted Danson?
Ted Danson? No.
That looked terrible to me. I never watched it. He was also in the show The Flash from the early 90s. The show The Heights. How do you talk to an angel?
What do all those shows have in common?
Have the word "the" in the front.
They have a token black character.
That's my joke. Fuck you.
Hey, that's for fucking me. It's 4 times already on this episode. Every time I try to go with a bit that we did, you shut the door.
What do you want to do? You want this to be false for people? Do you want people to listen to this and be like, this isn't organic at all? This podcast.
You don't think we could repeat some of the bits and them not be organic? I think we're good. We're better than Low Blow Podcast. I mean, come on.
When I go to bed at night, my head hits the pillow and I'm asleep in seconds.
Really?
Now you want to recreate these things, and maybe we could recreate to a point where it's like, oh, that's an organic. I'm listening to an actual conversation. I wouldn't be able to sleep for weeks.
All right. Well, your sleep is more important than all the listeners' entertainment.
Oh, for sure. He was also in Boy Meets World, and my joke was he played the black guy in all those, but you ripped it out from under me, and I fell on my face like so much Charlie Brown.
I'm your Lucy.
You are my Lucy. We are in an eternal tanglement. The writer of Galaxy Beat is Alan Spencer, and he had this to say about Galaxy Beat. CBS kept pursuing me, saying they had a desire to try things that were offbeat, despite not actually airing shows of that type, meaning you're ostensibly beaten off.
Hey-o.
I assume that he meant that as a joke. I've always had an interest in science fiction, so I whipped up a special effects-laden half-hour comedy called Galaxy Beat and populated it with a recognizable cast who had some genre cred, most notably the voice of Roddy McDowall, who was thankful just to voice a character without having to withstand long hours in the makeup chair like he did during Planet of the Apes. The Planet screened well, but just tested okay for the network's STAID demo group. And I don't know what STAID means. STAID. Anyway, when they passed, the then head of the network said, "We're really glad we made this pilot, but it's just not for us."
Well, they go to all that effort, and then some executive goes,
Some bigwig says, "No, thank you. Here's $1 million to create something, and then I'll pass."
Right.
What power? What hubris to be able to do that?
What if you had that much power? What would be the first thing you'd do in your life?
Water slide, backyard water slide.
Good on you.
Maybe a treehouse that had a bridge to my bedroom window.
That would be awesome.
Pretty great.
Awesome.
Pretty good stuff.
You made it when you have that.
For sure. That's it for the interesting facts. All of these, there was 4 things there, and there wasn't much to it. There's not a lot out there about Galaxy B. I dug around and I found a few reviews of it, but there's not a lot of information out there at all about this show.
Mysterious.
It's a bit of a mysterious show. So let's stop screwing around and dig right into it.
Let's dig in. Let's plant our claws into the ground, push that button, and go.
Well, there's no button to push when we dig into this. But I am deathly scared that we're not recording now. Is stuff still going okay?
Everything's fine.
Everything's good? Okay.
There's a red light and numbers going really fast.
Oh, what does that mean?
It means
we're traveling through time and space?
It records by the millisecond. It displays the millisecond.
I'll be. Galaxy Beat opens with a title screen, says 4049 AE, and AE means, of course,
after Elvis, because that's what all time should be judged upon.
So when I look at this, I think 4049, I subtract 2016, I was like, it's X amount of years in the future, but that might not be true, because Elvis died in what, 78, 79? Mm-hmm. So is the time start over from that point, according to these people?
Time starts over when he died, so in the 70s, but they just keep counting it, because they had already made all those calendars and stuff, so they just kept the time going. They didn't start at 1.
Oh, I see. It's just known past this time. It's after Elvis.
Sure.
Okay, I get you.
Hey, because after Christ, they started everything over.
Right.
It's like,
Thanks God.
It's the fucking king.
Can you imagine all the companies out there that had calendars for years and years to come?
And
then God's like, no, it's back at 0.
Well, because they're pounding them into stone. They're making it. I mean, it's not like they just had a printing press. It's like ching.
Yeah, it's like, just take all this paper and recycle it.
Oh, God, we're starting over. Fuck you guys.
That sucks.
Jeez.
So
we're busy making a pyramid and calendars. We don't have time.
Yeah, just figure out your system so we can get these calendars made for the populace. System. It's you're in outer space. You see the title card 4049 AE, and then some spaceships are flying by, and there's a little sign just floating in space that says "School Zone."
Slow down.
So that's what you do in a school zone.
Slow your shuttle.
And at this point, you kind of get an idea. It's like, okay, this is silly. This is a silly show.
Yeah, it seemed very. At that time, it seemed like on pilot or on sitcoms, when a lot of the pilots we watch, they're space oriented, but every time they're space oriented, they're goofs. You know what I mean? They're goof shows. Like this had like a Spaceballs kind of feel to it, and then Starstruck. We watched Starstruck
from the 70s.
From the 70s.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we're in space. Everybody's got to be slapstick comedy in space.
They're all very goofy, very silly comedies. And then
you know why? Because nobody knew anything about space. Like they didn't know if things were serious up there.
That's a great point. When NASA really gets out there, one of the things they test is the comedic elements of the environment they're in.
Well, that's on the satellite that went over to Mars and took pictures of Mars.
Right.
If you look close at some of those pictures, because NASA like put a bunch of them on the internet that you can just download.
Sure.
They're just amazing photographs. And if you look close, you can see little smiley faces.
I saw a whoopee cushion.
An Advil.
An Advil?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's
Anvil.
Yeah, an Advil.
Say pretzel.
Pretzel.
So after the opening, you have Captain Dak and Larry Black Guy sitting in a chair, and they're watching like TV.
Yeah, it's like there's a million channels and there's nothing to watch.
Right. And then they're saying, "Oh, Disney on Pluto closed." And to me, this is one of the first of a long line of dated references. When they say Pluto, the Disney Pluto closed, what they're really saying to me is Euro Disney closed. Sure. It's kind of a little nod to that. And the whole
what's
show
up with
is
that? I mean, we have 2 Disneys here in the continental United States.
Love them.
Are those Europeans so fucking cocky that they're like, we're too good to go to your mousetrap place?
That's ridiculous. Disney World is the happiest place on the planet.
Europeans love Americans.
I bet if they opened a Jerry Lewis World, it would be the most successful thing on the planet.
Lady! This kid's got Down syndrome. Why don't you send us some money?
What is that noise?
That's my wife saying, I heard you say Down syndrome, and tapping on the...
Oh, really?
No,
Boy, can she hear us talk through the ceiling?
No, I think she's just taking her bra off.
Jeez. It's got a 2-ton bra hitting the floor. That's a testament to how big her breasts are.
Yes.
Wonderful, huge breasts. Okay, so they're sitting in their spaceship, and they get a little hologram pops up and says, "Hey, Dak, you're a great spaceship captain. We need you to come back to the station. The chief wants to talk to you." He says, "Okay, no problem." And then they get attacked, or they're going through an asteroid field at that point.
Yeah, they turn around. Like, as soon as they turn around, there's an asteroid field behind them. So he brings the periscope, comes down, puts his goggles in there to start shooting at him, and then it cuts to what he's seeing inside that periscope.
Yep.
And it's like the asteroids game. It's like a video game.
They first used their computer graphics at the time, which were pretty rough, but then it shoots over to an arcade game, which is funny. Yeah, it did look like it was like asteroids, right?
Sure.
Or Space Invaders, kind of like that. It was pretty funny. I like that. And then the show starts. They go into the beginning, the theme of the show.
Sure.
And right before they do that, he starts talking. The Captain Dak starts talking. You just hear a narration like you would William Shatner at the beginning of a Star Trek episode. And he said, "This is our mission to do this and this." And the line that caught me, which I thought was really funny, is to find romance on every planet. And that's funny because William Shatner used to have sex with green ladies.
Sure.
On Star Trek.
I think that he had sex with the Furbies, too, the little Furby things.
How would you have sex with that?
You would just throw them at your naked body.
Like a bunch of them?
Oh, yeah. You just have somebody, whip them at you.
I know. What were those things called? All I know is Klingons, but I know what you're talking about. Just like little fuzzballs, right?
Furbies?
Oh, it was a Furby.
No, I don't know.
Is that the origin of Furbies on Star Trek?
I don't know.
Those things had mouths. I could see having sex with those.
Yeah. Hey, if it's got a hole.
Like we always say here on Couch Pilots, if it has a hole.
A lot of laughs.
A lot of laughs from that hole. Fill that hole up, won't you? The opening of the show, you're flying through space, a lot of blackness, a lot of stars, and then planets pop up.
Yeah.
And in the planets, you got the faces of the actor and some credits.
It's kind of cool.
It's not bad.
It wasn't overly done. It wasn't obnoxious, and it wasn't like on Shangri-La Plaza where it was like green screen cutouts of people's heads. I mean, they had good fading and good softness to them.
Did you like that?
What?
Shangri-La Plaza's opening?
No, that the green screen heads made me mad.
I didn't mind it so much. I thought it was one of the most elaborate openings we've ever seen.
We don't agree on anything when it comes to TV.
The opening's pretty good. I like this opening here for a Galaxy Beat. They get to the station, and then the camera kind of pans across the station to show you all the hustle and the bustle.
Sure.
And you've got a couple of operators, and they're talking to people, and one says that she's trying to understand the person that she's talking to. She's like, "You've fallen and you can't
beam up?
Beam up?" We all know you can't. Life alert, right?
Sure.
Fallen, I can't get up. This person can't beam up. Funny. Dated.
If you could beam up, like on Star Trek and this, like if you just beam from one place to the other,
yeah.
Do you think that would be cool, or do you think it would be like a pain in the ass? Like, because to me, it's like, oh, I'm going to go over to Jason's house, beam, boom, I'm in your living room. How are you going to know I'm coming over? You could be working some girl or something,
or myself.
That too, but I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Do not when it comes to that. I would probably whatever that. So you could just pop up anywhere. Or do you have to appear on a pad? Like a little. Would you have to beam in on a certain device?
It's true. So you'd have the pad outside your front door.
Or maybe create like a room in my house or something that you could beam into. You know what I mean? Because if it's cold outside, I don't want you to wait outside if I'm not there.
You're a nice guy.
Something I've heard about teleportation is that when you teleport, you die. and then when you beam in the other spot, you're recreated with your memories intact.
Like if we could have beamed that episode that we recorded earlier, like it died.
Right, it's dead on the vine.
But it could beam back and it would be right where we were left off.
Yeah. Would you do that though, knowing that you like when you beam you die, but your all your memories and everything is uploaded, and then when you reappear, you are instantly recreated with those memories
back.
Would you want to do that if you died?
Yeah.
That'd be so weird, wouldn't it? Like you wouldn't remember you dying. That's what I've heard teleportation could be in the future.
How do they know this stuff though? Like how do they know? Oh, you're going to die. Like we've never teleported anything, right? Except that kid in Willy Wonka.
No, I thought that was just like camera tricks. Is that not it?
No, that was straight up NASA.
Mike TV.
Mm-hmm.
So they teleported him, but he became smaller and he was dancing on chocolate bars. Is that right?
Yes.
I thought
he died on the way over to the TV.
I thought that was all just like computer like camera tricks and stuff.
No, that was a real deal. That was the first time when they did that show. Here's an interesting fact for you.
Okay.
When they were filming Willy Wonka, and it came to that scene, they're like, "We got to get a hold of NASA," and Richard Nixon gave the okay for them to do that.
So that technology was in place with the government.
Oh yeah,
but
it's happening all the time, Jason.
Gene Wilder had enough clout with the United States government to use that technology for that show.
It was Gene fucking Wilder, man. He had all kinds of him and Richard Nixon were really good friends, and he called him up on the phone. He's like, "Hey, Dick, help a brother out. Get NASA over here."
I didn't know that. How do you know that? Can I ask how you know that?
Well, I can't really reveal my sources. I know a lot of stuff.
I've seen that. I love Willy Wonka or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think it's a really great show. I love all the songs in it. I've even seen some behind the scenes.
We represent the Lollipop
Kids.
My
favorite song.
Lollipop Kids. The Lollipop
Yep,
Kids.
I love that song. Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, somewhere over the rainbow.
Those songs are so classic.
Soundtrack amazing. I can play it all day long.
Absolutely. Just hit repeat. Wow. I'm sorry we got off track there a little bit. So they're still in the space station, and then there's coffee floating around. People, and the coffee's like saying, "Hey, I'm some coffee if you want to have some of this coffee." But they're saying it in the accent or in the ethnicity of which the coffee is.
Right. The first one was like a latte of some kind. It had a lot of cream in it, so it was like a chocolatey brown kind of. And how it didn't burn people when it walked by,
I don't know.
But it was just a picture of a craft.
A carafe?
A carafe of
it's a little coffee pot floating through the air. And one was a black one, and it did a black voice.
Straight gangsta black. Yep. Like, get out of my way, bitches.
It was the best kind of racist. And then the two guys got back to the station. They're like, "Hey,
it was great knowing you. Thank you for all your thanks for serving with me.
Really appreciate it.
Give me a hug.
Give me a hug." And then their pelvic regions repelled from each other because they were both guys, and the belt buckle they were wearing was anti-male bonding, which I don't know.
Men should be able to hug even in space,
especially in space where no one can hear you scream. All you have is hugs. That's what I always say, anyway.
Sorry.
That's all right. The chief the DAC goes to see the chief, and the chief basically is just this computer system.
Yeah, it's like he walked into like a mini movie theater.
Yeah, like
because they had like the lights from the aisleway.
Oh right, and what was it? The Dolby Digital Surround. And then on the computer screen, it was basically just like a teleprompter. It was like a closed captioning of what the computer was saying.
Right.
And it was basically telling him, "Hey, you did a great job out there.
Good on you.
We love you.
You kick ass.
We're not giving you promotion. We're not going to do that because you're too good to waste behind a desk somewhere. You're going to be out there in the worst part of the galaxy, cleaning it up.
You're going to go to the Galaxy Ghetto, where there's drugs, space rape, space murder,
space rape.
The
Hanna-Barbera classic space rape.
Way before its time.
Oh boy, I wish
until it was okay to rape.
And then finally, the government saw it okay to rape in space and pass
one day a year.
Was it the purge? Space purge. All space rape legal today. All space rape legal today.
The thing. If people would go back and listen to these shows, we're giving them pilot ideas out the yazang. Every episode, we give at least 2 pilot ideas.
So I never saw the horror movie The Purge. And they've made a sequel. They may have even made a third one but the fourth one, just like any cliched or movie series going on too long, you take it to outer space.
Yep, always take it to outer space.
Purge 4, space rape. Hey, I'd watch it.
Hey, I know a couple people that would take advantage of that.
Oh, no, Jesus Christ.
Not me. I said I know a couple people.
Okay, a couple people that are just
me and a few people I know. I didn't say that.
Just space enthusiasts who are
right.
Who love to rape.
The guy from Virgin.
The what?
The guy that owns Virgin.
Oh, okay. You know him?
Huh?
You know him?
Yeah. He's always
Sir Richard Branson?
Yeah, he's like, hey, do you guys need some money for your Libsyn account? No.
He's like, all right, well, I'm just going to be waiting for laws to pass for me to space rape.
I'm going to space rape people. He's British. I'm going to space rape. Oh, I'm going to build this spaceship. The guy from NSYNC's going to get on with me, and he's going to rape all the boys, and I'm going to rape all the girls.
Just, that's how you know the world is in perfect harmony, when you have Lance Bass raping people in space. But we digress. Dak leaves the theater where he's talking to the chief, sunburnt by the spotlight that was on him. It's kind of a joke. He flips his hand over. It's as white as the day is long, and he flips it back over, and it's red as the devil's dick. Then he gets up.
That's my Indian name. I'm Cherokee.
That's right.
That was a great bit, too.
That was a great bit. Lost to the ages.
Fucking, yeah.
It's your fault. I hope you can't sleep. I don't give a shit.
No, every 5 minutes I go. I look at you because I like to make eye contact with you. I think we do a really good job on this podcast of making eye contact. On IBWIP, we very rarely make eye contact because we're not face to face.
And there's 4 of us, and we're trying to spread the love all around.
Yeah, but on this one we are. But I keep bouncing off and looking to make sure that's red, make sure those numbers are moving. I'm so freaked out about it.
Good.
I think Drunken Lullabies broke my machine.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Well, let me issue a challenge to the boys at Drunken Lullabies right now.
Prove you didn't.
Don't break the machine. No, I'm sure they didn't.
You get sloppy drunk, and then you break the machine.
Beermansky probably tried to put it in his butt.
Beermansky's like, my love! Shoves it up his butt.
I just talked to him on the phone. He's not happy about that.
Oh, I know he's not. I listen to Drunken Lullabies. I know what's up. Yeah. If he wants to rumble, let's go to the jungle. I mean, I'll swing from a vine. We'll go on. We'll go. That's why he wants to. He said, "Hey, I want to." While you're on the phone with him, he's like, "I want to cash in my frequent flyer points.
Yeah,
I want to come on the show." And you're like, "Why? Why would you want to come on this show? You're already so famous.
You're very successful in your own right. Why?
Right. Your wife has big, voluptuous, milk-filled breasts right now.
Triple Ks.
You've got a great job. Mm-hmm. You got dashing good looks. Besides a little twitch." There's nothing wrong with you.
Jeez. Talk about low blow podcast.
I love you, Blake. I'm just messing with you.
So after we talk about Blake's Tourette's is when we talk about when Dak goes to the space bar, and he's not looking for space rape. He's looking for space blue liquid to drink.
When you're in space, booze it up with blue.
That's all you get is blue liquids.
You know why?
I don't know why.
Blue links.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They coincide with each other.
Blue links only, blue liquids only in space. He starts telling the bartender all of his troubles, and all you see is like the elbow and the back of the bartender. And when he gets up to leave, he throws a couple of plastic chips on there, space credits, I assume. And he says, "Hey, you're a great listener. Thank you so much." Camera does a 180. Boom. He's talking to a giant ear person.
Very much so. Very Spaceballs kind of. To me, that was like Spaceballs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we go back to the currency, or do you want to just skip that as well? That was a bit we did as well.
The bit before was like, hey, why are we still paying with physical money in the year 4049 after Elvis? By then, I think it's all digital cash. I'm blinking at you, or I spit into a cup and you get my it's something very like a scan or something.
Sure.
Why are we still dealing with physical money this far in the future?
I don't know. Probably still have pennies.
Oh God!
Get rid of the.
Don't get me started.
I mean, I love Abraham Lincoln and everything.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
One of the greatest presidents ever.
Top 10 at presidents.
Top 10.
Yeah, top 10. Top 10 presidents.
We're in the land of Lincoln right now.
Absolutely.
But we don't need. I mean, we should probably take his bust. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, his bosom.
Yes, and we should put it on the $20 bill.
Well, and I think Alan Jackson is being removed from the $20 bill. Country great Alan Jackson.
Yeah, because he, don't rock the jukebox. Well, guess what? You rocked it too much, Alan. You're out of here.
And now
we're putting Abraham Lincoln on there.
Well, I think right now the plan is to put Harriet Tubman on there.
Who?
Harriet Tubman. She dug all the tunnels for the Underground Railroad. She was the famous engineer who...
How did they get a train in the underground?
That's exactly right. How did they do that? You don't know. That's what she spent her life working on. She dug massive tunnels.
By herself? With her own two hands?
Largely by herself. She
Wow.
paved the way, essentially, for other people to do that around the country. Saying, hey, you know what? Follow the North Star if you want, or get on this goddamn steam engine, and we'll truck you underground
to San Francisco.
To San Francisco, that's right. And you get out there and make your fortune in gold. So Harriet Tubman...
She was like a 49er.
She was the original 49er.
Wow, that's cool. Maybe. Well, you know what? Put Tim on the $3 bill.
Well, why does it have to be one person on there? Why can't we put Abraham Lincoln shaking Harriet Tubman's hand on there? Or maybe some 20s have Lincoln and some have Harriet Tubman.
Oh, jeez. We got more problems?
No, the screen just went dark.
Oh.
I was just making sure that it stayed light. Where it's going to be on here long enough where this battery is going to drain.
I know.
Harriet Tubman. Okay, let's just skip ahead here. So he leaves the bar. He gets on the ship. The black guy's like, "Hey, I'm on your crew."
No, man. You can't go. I'm going to the worst part of the town. You can't go with me.
He's like, "I love you forever. You're my bestie for life. We're in it. We're in it to win it." And so he gets on.
If I was a chief for the space?
No. Don't even finish the sentence. Not a chance.
You wouldn't do everything you possibly could to be my buddy?
No, I've got a life here. My daughter's here. You want to go to outer space? Have a great time. Space rape away. Leave me out of it.
All right. You're going to miss all the fun.
Oh, yeah? What fun are you going to have up there?
Space raping.
The ultimate in space fun. Space raping. Raping in space.
Or is it?
Oh, that's terrible. I get what you're doing there, and it's terrible. So they get in the ship. They got this girl with them now. She's she's a tall, toned, sexy woman. And they all get on the ship. Like, we're your crew. The black guy you already know, and me, white tough chick. They're like, okay, great. So they get on here and they start messing around with all these different little gadgets on their ship. What? You don't like that? What are you laughing about?
You're just going so fast.
Well, how much time do we have? We're really bantering away.
Okay.
I want to get to a point in the show where I just want to get to where we left off because I feel like we're treading just this ground that has been tread before. All right, but we're not skipping that much. They get on there. It's like this is the Q portion of the James Bond movie where they're touching all the gadgets.
Right, and there's no reason for this scene really.
Just more goofs, more gags. more silliness.
Yeah, this is very gag reelish. This is very one-liner, punch-liner, hey-o kind of stuff.
Her name is Sheila Fleckstein or something.
Fleckstein.
She's like, check out all these gadgets here. This gives you excruciating pain, and she presses this little. It's like a little stick, and it's a spray. And she sprays in the black guy's face. He's like, I'm in pain. It's terrible. He said, flip it over. There's the antidote. Boom, he's okay. Now, and she gives it over to Dax. So it works like this. And so they and now here's the antidote. Oh, yeah, just like this. Here's the excruciating pain. Oh, and this is the antidote, right? Yeah, okay. And this goes back and forth.
It's on way too long.
Just like that. And then the next thing is the truthalizer. You strap it to your mouth and you say whatever you want, but only the truth comes out.
I wish I would have had one of those through the years. There's a few people that I've had
conversations
with that I would have liked to have. What?
I don't know. You don't want.
We're so yin and yang.
I just feel like sometimes you don't want to know the truth. I think sometimes the truth would just bury you.
I think it buries me not knowing the truth.
Okay. Well, you know you better than me. So if it worked in your favor, I think a lot of times for me, ignorance is bliss. I'd rather walk my...
I've been living a great life, buddy. Just walking through it.
You're the most blissful man I know. The last thing is a stunner. It's a big stick. And she zaps him and he freezes. And then it also makes him weightless, so he starts floating.
Because she said something like, they made it to where she's weightless, so it's easier to carry, the cargo, carry it back to the police station. That's dumb.
And then she's like, how do you undo it? It's like, you zap him again. And so the black guy was floating. And then she zapped him again, and he fell down flat on his face.
Yeah, I don't like the way that they portray African Americans in the 90s.
No.
These shows. I mean, there's no need. Why wasn't it a Polish guy? Why wasn't it Jewish?
It should have been big, dumb Polak.
Yeah.
Or a hook-nosed Jew, right? Not a black guy. I mean, let's beat up on... I'm sorry. You know what? That is racist because I've never slept with a Polak or a Jewish lady. I want to. I'd love to.
But wasn't the German girl Jewish?
No, her family killed Jews.
Oh,
she's not Jewish.
So in like 7 degrees of separation, you
if that's the case, then I can't be racist towards Kevin Bacon either.
Right. And who would be?
So they're like, all right, we got all the gadgets, we got all the people, let's go. Like, hey, hold the phone. We got one more recruit.
We got one more. All right, everybody.
Blake's not eating pizza, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing an impression of Cod.
The frog guy.
What? Cod's a fish. Why don't you just name him Toady or...
Todd.
Todd. Name him Todd the Toad. Instead, he's a giant frog person. And he starts hopping down the hallway.
It's all slippery and gooey and... Yeah, every once in a while he's like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah, very funny. Was it supposed to be him farting?
I think if they would have made it like an alien person or something, it would have been cooler. Like it was really stupid to make him a toad.
Yeah, I think so too. So they file into the control room or whatever it is. They take off, and before they do that, they remove the accordion style visor covering the window because they don't want the spaceship to get too hot.
No, it's the air conditioning was poor in those days. Back in those days in 49. So you got to get shade wherever you can.
I thought that was kind of funny. And they're like, all right, let's take off. And so the ship goes back. And anytime you see the ship, it goes to the computer animation, which is not great.
No.
They put the ship down, and then a huge rubber band, it comes back, and it fires them into outer space.
Chuckle.
Hopefully, rubber band technology has improved to the point where it can do that.
Yeah, Spaceball-y there.
Very much so. And as soon as they're shot in outer space, immediately
trouble.
They start having trouble. They're heading directly into the sun, and it's instant. How close is this station to the sun to where seconds later they can be in trouble?
Right, because like 2 seconds later, you look at the screen, they look out their dash. Like we look out our dash, we can see the horizon.
Right.
We can see sometimes we can see the moon in the distance.
Love seeing the moon.
The just endless layers of clouds.
Love clouds.
But they come out there, they look up, and their whole front windshield is yellow.
Yep, it's just we're heading directly into the sun, and they're all like bracing for death, and then the frog whips out his tongue, grabs some sort of lever, and he pulls it, and boom, they're safe. Oh, thank God! Thank God.
Luckily, they didn't leave us hanging very long. There was no suspense. Maybe that's where they would have put a commercial.
Yeah, place commercial here for sure. At this point, they say things like Dr. Kevorkian and a lot of dated references that just like, what? These references don't make sense in 4049.
No.
Why would they be using references that are from the mid-1990s?
Right.
These are literally thousands of years old references.
They can't tell the future, dude.
They're in outer space.
You can only write what you know.
I suppose so. They're in outer space. They're free from the sun's gravitational pull and the ultimate doom they would have experienced. And then they start pressing buttons. They find out, hey, we're the only patrol ship out in this sector. This is a freaking suicide mission.
That's like having me and you in the middle of Compton. Just the only police in the middle of Compton.
Would we make it a dent? Sure. Would we be eventually destroyed and our limbs ripped from our bodies? You betcha.
Unless we're wearing Raiders gear.
Yeah, I definitely. Or the Rams. The Rams are coming back to L.A.
Oh,
too.
I wonder if that's going to change the horizon of gang-related... No, the gang-related apparel.
Yeah. The Crips and the Bloods. We have to come up with
the Raiders.
And the Raiders.
I mean, the Rams.
Oh, the Rams, too.
That joke would have been funnier.
So, let's see here. Dak is... What's that?
He says, fuck it.
He says, I'm done. He says, I'm done. You don't give me promotion that I really deserve. You give me this crappy ship, this ragtag group of misfits. I'm about ready to go into the sun here. We barely escaped that. And I find out I'm all alone in this sector of the galaxy. Forget it. I am resigning. I am out of here.
Audi 5000 G.
So he tells the black guy that.
And it's funny. You find out here that that Larry is like super, super old. Like you can see his pictures in like the Egyptian what do you call that? Egyptian writing?
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah, hieroglyphics. And then you saw him in the Civil War.
Yep.
It was weird. It was pointless.
You saw him working at Walmart.
Yeah. It was just really pointless.
But he was over 5,000 years old. It was really pointless. And the whole time they're kind of having this touching speech, like, "Hey, we've been friends a long time. I really appreciate it."
Like me and you,
just like you and I. Except they were reading off of teleprompters. Is that what that was, or is that the recording device he was using?
It was a recording device he was using.
It was recording everything he was saying.
Yeah, he was. He. The scene started. He was writing his resignation to the chief, and back then they didn't have time to use pens or pencils or anything or typewriters or anything.
Why do you keep saying back then? Are we in the future?
Yeah.
they're in the past.
Sure.
Okay. I didn't get that from the show, but
I'll draw you a picture.
I remember one time you were right about something, and now I have to assume that everything you say is correct.
One time. So then he never turns it off, and so Larry comes in, they start talking, and it's just writing everything down.
Yep.
The joke.
And then he's about ready to leave. He says something I wrote down. He says, "Rest assured." He says that to the black guy, and I was like, "Hey,
Captain,
my captains, my co-captains,
my captain,
Captain, my Philip, rest assured."
You know, when I was given that name, I found it to be so much of an honor.
Sure.
And for it to be on a show from the past, which is in the future, is just even more of an honor.
It really is, and I'm glad you see it that way. Some people look at their names and think, it's my grandfather's name. It's such an old, tired name. Why do I have this? I wish I could go by my middle. But you fully embraced it, and that's what you had to do.
Right.
That was the cards dealt to you.
And that's what I want people that are listening to do, is rest assured, we're going to get you through this.
And then
Dax says, 20 more minutes.
Dax says, rest assured, and he said, I'm going to go talk to Sheila now.
Because she's going to be in charge, right?
Yeah, she's the second in command. She'll be first in command, so I want to let her know what's going on. So I'm going to go down the hall and talk to her. And he goes to knock on her door, but he presses a button, and the button is like a knocking sound.
Sure.
I enjoyed that.
It was funny. This scene right here was probably one of the better scenes, I thought, of the show.
I would say a step further, and it's not only the best scene of this show, but the best thing you've ever seen associated with Couch Pilots. That's what I'm going to guess. That's my prediction for you. Because when he goes in there, the woman is working out. Sheila is working. What does it say? Yeah, all Blake has written for this section are 5 letters, and those letters are boobs. He's not wrong.
No.
He goes in there, and she's working out.
She's doing. She's on the treadmill.
Yep.
We got a fancy treadmill.
Really
fancy. And what's really weird is if you think about it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to
You're really boring the shit out of me. That's why I'm yawning.
They have these same type of treadmills now, to where you can push a button and you're running in you're running in the marathon, or you're running on the beach. They have this technology now, and back in the 90s they knew they were going to have it. She's running in downtown New York in a marathon. She pushes another button. She's
surfing on the beach. Then she's on the white pillowy snow, doing all over the skin. This got me thinking, does art imitate life, or does life imitate art?
Ooh, that's the eternal question. We could do a whole podcast.
Let's start right now.
All right. Does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? Episode 1.
Okay.
Hi. Welcome to the show. I'm Blake, and with me here is my friend Jason.
Hey, guys. This is Jason. How are you? Happy to be here.
All right. Today, one of our main topics is going to be, does art appreciate life, or does life appreciate art? Jason, what do you think?
I think life appreciates art.
And what are your facts to assimilate that?
Those are just my feelings.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. This has been another episode of Art and Life.
Take care, guys. Thanks a lot. So, I mean, to me, anytime you have something space age like that in the future, sometimes people will create those things.
Right.
And I think that's been the case here.
That's why I can't wait until Star Wars, all those come to premonition.
You want lightsabers?
I want a Wookiee.
Oh, you just want a Wookiee?
Oh, yeah. I will mouth off to everybody in the world. It reminds me about the time we went to the strip club and we had this this big guy with us. Oh, it was when we were in Tennessee.
What was the big guy?
Biggie's twin brother.
Oh,
Brett.
Little Asian-y?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like I just mouth off to anybody in there because those guys had my back. If I had a Wookiee, I'd be like, fuck you, and fuck you.
Now, the only reason Han Solo had a Wookiee is because the Wookiee owed him a life debt because he had saved his life. So would you have to save the life of a Wookiee in order to acquire one?
Can I just buy one?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So Sheila is in there working out, and she's got spectacular breasts, and she exposes them to the captain. And this is one of those things, when I was young, I would have had my VCR out, I would have recorded it, and then I just would have play, pause, fast forward, pause, fast forward, pause, fast forward, pause,
fast forward,
play, pause. Just trying to get that perfect glimpse.
Oh, I thought you were trying to rewind it over and over. I was like, you're going the wrong way.
No, I'm trying to just like fast forward, pause.
Oh.
Fast forward, pause. Play, pause. I'm just trying to get that perfect glimpse of as much breast as I can before I begin to manually manipulate myself.
Yeah.
And this is, and I did that with so many of the VHS movies I had as a child.
They're all ruined. They're all just have
ruined.
lines in them. Just
absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. It was funny because I was playing a video game last night with my brother, and on the Xbox dashboard they had a little scene. They had like a preview for the movie Kingpin. You remember that with Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray, and then it also had Vanessa Angel, who was the computer woman from the television version of Weird Science, and I had a huge crush on her. And there's a part in the movie where her dress flies up because she's standing above the ball return where the air comes out, and you can kind of see what's happening down there. And that part of my VHS copy of Kingpin was just to shreds.
It was so fine. Like there's rips. It was just
and it wasn't even nudity. It was just like her
just
red silk
thought
underwear.
Of nudity.
Oh my god.
That's like Marilyn Monroe. It kind of reminds that scene kind of emulates the Marilyn Monroe where she's standing over the.
Oh my god.
And there was no nudity in that.
No. It was just so erotic.
It was so erotic.
Just knowing, the knowing.
Knowing what's underneath there.
Oh, my God.
Just want to space rape her.
I can't argue with that. So the ship gets into some sort of debris after that. He's about ready to say, "Hey, I'm going to retire," but then he kind of I can't remember what she says. I think she tells him a story or something, and then he kind of backs out.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, you guys need me."
So then all of a sudden there is the ship starts rocking back and forth. Everyone files back into the computer room or the control room, and the ship had hit some debris. And among that debris is an ally ship that they see destroyed.
Yeah, and it's just a family on vacation. Just got sucked into this people's warp.
And also among that is a family, and it's the Stekanoids who they're out. That's their mission to stop the Stekanoids, and they've stopped. They basically see that they have them in a tractor beam. This family. And they say, you know what, Stekanoids, I'm the best captain in the galaxy. Why don't you step up to the plate with me? Why don't you tumble with me? And he says, hey, you know what? We're going to take the tractor beam off these guys, and we're going to put it on you. But you never see the Stekanoids. You never see them.
You never see them. And this is, that whole play of sticking out your chest, going into prison, punching the biggest guy there.
Yep, that's exactly right.
That's what Dax is doing. He's like, I'm going to punch the biggest guy in this motherfucker.
And they're like, great, no problem. So we'll start bringing you in, and you'll be dead. And then he puts out this distress call. He's telling everyone what to do. You do this. You get ready to this. He's talking to the woman. He says, you go do this. And she says, what about this? And he says, nag, dag, nag, nag.
But what he's trying to do is he's trying to make it appear as they're on a suicide mission that they're going to go ahead and they're going to get pulled in by the tractor beam, and right at the last second they're going to blow themselves up, which will then blow this Stekanoids up.
Yeah, and he says, hey, we're going to do a self-destruct once we get pulled in there. But just so you know...
Are you crazy, Dak? No way, we can't do that.
Knowing that they can hear him put out a distress call to his friends. So they're thinking, we're going to do some damage to this ship, and then all my buddies are going to come in here and wreck house.
Yep.
And they don't call his bluff. They let him go, and they're safe.
It kind of reminded me, that was kind of a Star Wars kind of bit, you know what I mean? Like how Luke Skywalker went in and went down that real itty-bitty tunnel and shot in that one specific little itty-bitty space.
Yeah.
And blew the whole Death Star up after an inch by an inch square.
Yeah, he did it.
Do you remember that game? Do you remember that game where you had to do that, and all it was like lines? It was the graphic.
I love that game.
And it was,
it was at Chuck E. Cheese for years and years and years. I love that game, and then that game got video game cancer, and it started to some of the lines would disappear in it, and then over time. But because I've seen stand-up versions of that game before. But because basically what you're doing is you're flying along and you're shooting towers and stuff that are shooting at you, and then you go down and you have to kind of maneuver through the hallway, and then you hit it at the right time, and the whole thing blows up. Yep. I love that game. Great game.
I'm glad I could bring a little bit of remembrance of your childhood back.
Hey, you know what? May you find reality rewarding. That's their "May the Force be with you." That's what they say in this show. May you find reality rewarding. They say it a couple times. I think that's trying to be their catchphrase. And he says, you know what? On the next adventure.
Yep, we're here. You know what? We're a team. I'm staying in it. Unless we get canceled, let's go do another adventure.
Setting up the next adventure. Hey, I heard there's some trouble over here. Let's go over there. And that's the end.
Over.
That's it. What do you think?
It happens.
Something else that happens, and maybe not as frequently as I like, but the Low Blow podcast happens. And here's a little something about Low Blow.
Are you sick of spoiled white people and Donald Trump bringing you the news you could care less about?
Are you sick of trolling the interwebs for penis-related news only to end up flaccid?
Do you lust for Florida only the way a mother lover can?
Then look no further than Fakakta Comedy Funhouse's Low Blow Podcast with Adam Z and Dave Rowan.
Streaming live every week at lowblowpodcast.net and available for download Thursdays at fcfnetwork.com.
Appropriately inappropriate. Oh!
Pretty good.
I mean, you can tell it's written.
Oh, yeah. No, that was tight. I like that because it's tight and written. I like that. Low Blow Podcast, part of the FCF Network family of shows. We got 7 shows. They come out weekly or bi-weekly. Check them all out. Take the FCF Network challenge.
Right, just go to fcfnetwork.com. You can get a description of all of them. There's links to the iTunes. There's links to get to all of them. You're bound to find something you like. There's Couch Pilots, of course. IBWIP. It's like the grandfather. It's like the grouchy grandfather of the organization. There's Drunken Lullabies, which is the young stallion of the family. Just trudging toward victory.
Craft beer, indie music. You got the song Inside and Out, where you talk to all the great roots music artists out there and learn specifically about one song. You really dissect it, tear it apart. You got Sex with Heather,
which is about sex education. I think it's not just smut. It's, it's actual sex education and like sex talk. It's just like she's opened up your mind, and it's a good show.
S&M Radio about horror movies. And then
horror movies.
I have been telling my friends the wrong thing then.
Ooh.
They all
well,
go
you're
there.
welcome for the downloads, Shannon.
And then there's the Low Blow Podcast, where a couple guys out of Chicago just talking some crap about some news stories and just kind of riffing and having a good time.
Good time.
And they both have very distinct personalities and definitely worth a listen. Funny show. Check out Low Blow Podcast. Check out all the shows on the FCF Network. Anytime someone subscribes or tells a friend or rates the show or leaves us a comment, it all helps. We're not making any money here. We're just having a lot of fun. We hope you're having fun with us, and you telling people about it helps us grow as a podcast network. We're always looking for new shows, too.
Do you chew on your thumb a lot?
Yes.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Turbulence. Worst part of a flight.
I agree. I chew on the skin around my fingers sometimes. I never chew my fingernails. Do you chew your fingernails?
Oh, all the time.
Really? I clip my nails like a madman.
Molly chews them all the way down to like the nubs.
I clipped mine yesterday to the nub.
Wow.
But I never chew them.
That's good.
Because that brings infection.
You have self-control.
In some cases, I do. I wish the people who made this show had a little bit of self-control. Why didn't this show work? That's the question I propose.
I'll start off, if you don't mind.
Please.
Again, it's a situation where you're making a space movie or space TV show, and you just make it all these fifth grade jokes. You know what I mean? Let's add some interesting, edgy,
intelligent
humor. Let's not just there's a guy with a horse tail. Hey, you getting a tail or the whole you falling and you can't beam up. I mean, it's just not funny.
Yeah.
It's just. It's funny like the first 5 minutes. Like you're like but 30 minutes into it, you're like, Jesus, come on.
Yeah, they really keep the quote unquote. They keep what they consider jokes coming. They keep hitting you with a barrage of jokes, and to me, some work, some don't.
Do you think it would work better if they didn't have the laugh track? Because this is very filled with laugh track as well. I know that's a big pet peeve of yours, but do you think the jokes would be more tolerable, or you would last longer interest-wise if it didn't have the laugh track?
Maybe so. There's this isn't a completely broken pilot. I just think that the computer graphics weren't there. I mean, maybe that's part of the funny for them. Maybe that was funny. Like I think there's a show Farscape. Did you ever see Farscape? I want to say it was called Farscape on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it had just cheesy graphics. And maybe that is part of the fun. But you can do it. You can make them look good. Star Wars looked pretty good. And they're using models,
right, like string.
Same thing with Aliens. A lot of that, and even as recently like Titanic, they built a model version of the Titanic ship in a big studio set.
Soundstage.
Thank you.
Right.
they look good. Models look good. If you are doing it right in the right lighting, they really look good.
Brooke Shields when she was like 15.
Oh, Jesus. God, I fucking
was
bit.
it? What was it?
I bit when you said Brooke Shields, and then you threw the 15 in there.
What was that movie she was in? That erotic, like her and her brother were
Blue Lagoon.
Tell me that she didn't look hot in Blue Lagoon.
She was 18.
Oh,
I hope.
boo!
Or else I have to throw a VHS copy away.
Because I'm breaking a law. No, Brooke Shields. That was
Hold on. Is it against the law to masturbate to it?
Well, I don't know. We should ask that guy from Subway.
How do they? Yeah, let's scour through Jared Fogel's hard drives and see if he had a copy of the Blue Lagoon. If he did, we know it's wrong.
Right.
If I were to improve this show, I think I would add another cast member or two because it looked like we were really dealing with 4 people. I would have added probably another 2 or 3 cast members.
Right. Take the frog out. Take the toad out. Put in like an alien.
I don't mind that there was a creature on there.
No, I don't mind
it,
but I didn't like the toad. It was very cartoony. It made it, you know what I mean. I was not into it at all.
I thought the toad was okay. They could have done something better. The thing I did, I was watching the toad speak in the hallway, and his eyes were moving in his mouth. I thought it looked decent. They could have maybe made a better choice with their alien, but I thought, like creature feature wise, I think it worked fairly well. I would like to see it go. I like the idea of them being like a Star Trek, or going from planet to planet, having these different adventures. I think it could have gone on. This is another candidate. If you ask me, if you're going to keep it this silly, put it on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
this is a 12-minute Adult Swim show. If you ask me.
Yeah, you have to add an Asian,
absolutely,
and a woman, another woman, and not as. Another woman that's not as...
The more tomboyish one?
The more tomboyish one that doesn't have as much authority. Because
right.
she's second in command. You know what I mean? She's got too much authority.
An underling.
And that way you could have a love triangle.
Absolutely.
Because nobody's going to want to go out with the black guy or the Asian guy.
No.
Or the frog.
Not in the mid-90s. Not a chance. But
it's not near as popular as it is nowadays.
All right, let's make this final descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Scores. Reviews. This is where we look at the internet and say, what did other people think about this? IMDb score, 6.5. I think I briefly mentioned it during the interesting facts section, but no, there wasn't a lot to pull for this. There wasn't a lot of information out there.
Now, was this aired or not aired? I
don't think it was. I don't think it was aired. There was no facts pulled from IMDb, no comments, nothing on the message board, nothing. Usually there's something there on IMDb nothing. But it had a score of 6.5, so enough people rated it, but just nothing was added. There's no trivia, there's no goofs, there's no nothing on there that I could have pulled. Nothing. I had to look elsewhere for reviews.
Did this really happen?
Did you...
It's in the past, but it's in the future. Maybe it didn't happen.
Maybe you and I have a shared psychosis. Like a mass hypnosis kind of thing,
yeah.
To where we both think that we saw it.
That's like we both thought we were funny on the first recording.
Mm-hmm. I think time will prove us wrong.
Do you think? But do you think that? Yeah, it's just people don't want to waste their time. That's all it was.
Critic reviews. Mike Lynch, cartoonist, says there are more gags per square inch than Quark, which is something I don't know what it is, and I didn't spend the time to look it up. Some are clunkers, but a couple I laughed at. The cast is enthusiastic, and the leads are actually pretty funny.
The actors are enthusiastic. They're trying. They're not. They're not just going. This is gonna fucking suck.
You're right. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Paul Fay from WatchThisThing.com says Galaxy Beat is a perfectly entertaining pilot that probably could have been developed into a highly entertaining show if they had allowed it to develop. The pilot, written by Sledgehammer's Alan Spencer, the guy who had the quote from CBS earlier, is filled with sight gags, many of which work quite well, and there are a lot of cultural references that date it quite a bit as well, which I totally agree.
Sure.
Dave from InterestingTales.com says this series as a concept doesn't satisfy any market niche. The jokes are a mix of sub-airplane puns, which you mentioned airplane, that's funny, and borderline sexist, racist, and homophobic observations, while the sci-fi elements are sometimes played straight, especially in the Babylon 5-esque CGI and the sets and costumes that some people actually went ahead and made.
Do you think that you could say this is like the space version of Black Bart? Or maybe not as heavy, I guess, as Black Bart. Black Bart was as racist as you can get without joining the Ku Klux Klan.
We are 15 years plus, I think, removed from Black Bart at the point of the show. So, yeah, I mean, society has progressed to a point where you can't drop the N-bomb in the mid-'90s on TV. And they definitely did. Was it 2.5, 3.5 times in Black Bart?
Sure.
So there are still some definitely racist and homophobic elements to this, which you wouldn't see today. But, what? I don't know. I think we're overly PC anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think we are overdoing it.
And we should be able to say some of these things, but it should be done in an intelligent manner.
Yeah.
Like Louis C.K. I know we've mentioned him a couple times recently. I watch one of his shows and or one of his stand-up episodes, and he talks. I mean, he talks at length about the word faggot, and he just he it's so funny. He gets away, and he drops the N-bomb too. He gets away with saying it because he deconstructs it. He takes the audience on this journey with his stories, where he comes out the other side completely innocent.
Yeah,
like everyone loves him.
Right.
Everyone loves him still, even though he's dropping these horrible words because he's developed a story and told it in a way to take you on a ride, so you know where he's coming from.
Sure,
and makes it funny the whole way.
Because you're not able to make an assumption about, you know what I mean? Like, he's giving you all the details.
He's laying all of it out.
So
yeah, maybe if it's done in a more intelligent manner, maybe some of these would be a little bit more acceptable today. But as of this, it is. I mean, at the time, I'm sure it was fine. No one batted an eye. Oh, that's too. You can't be gay in space.
You get AIDS.
Space AIDS. You want to do some space raping? You're bound to get space AIDS.
It happens all the time.
But these are pretty good. I think these are pretty good reviews.
Yeah,
I like those reviews. Well, now we got a few things to say, I think.
I got something to say. I space raped Joe Baby today.
FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11, and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Did you say, I've got something to say, I space raped your baby today? Is that what you said going into that?
It's a Metallica song.
Which song is that? Space Rape?
Doesn't matter much.
Off of Ride the Space Rape?
It's from Garage Days.
Was that?
I got something to say.
Is that a later album?
I killed. It was when Dave Mustaine was on it. I killed Joe Baby today. Doesn't matter much to me as long as it's dead.
Now this is
dead. After waiting for your breath. Something gets your last caress. Last caress today. That's what it was. Yo ho! Here in the face as a genie of death. Stop it! To me! Great hell! That's what it was. Green hell. I knew I had to keep going until I got to it.
I would let you go all night if you wanted.
Garage Days is one of the best Metallica albums.
That's what I was going to ask you, though, because I think Cliff was their first guitarist, right? And then after him, it was Dave Mustaine? Or not? Or was Dave Mustaine in the beginning?
He didn't play bass for him.
Dave Mustaine was kicked out early, right?
Yeah, he was kicked out. Cliff Burton, bass solo, take one. That was the coolest bass solo.
Anastasia?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Is that the song?
Yeah, from the movie.
Yeah.
Cartoon, I mean. He died because their bus crashed. Oops.
What album is that? Garage Days?
Garage Days.
That's not an album by them.
No,
you've got Kill 'Em All, right?
It's before that.
No, there was nothing before Kill 'Em All. I thought that was the first album. And then they had Ride the Lightning and Justice for All, Master of Puppets, and those are the four.
Master.
Those are the four albums right there. And then anything past that, you're dipping into murky territory.
Okay, it was released on August 21st of 1987. It did not have Dave Mustaine in it.
What album is that? That's Garage Days?
Garage Days.
I don't remember that. What was that, like live performances?
No.
B-cuts?
No,
I don't remember that at all.
It had track list. Hold on.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, you take a second and pull that up. While you're doing
it only
that,
had 5 songs on it.
This is the part of the show where we rate the pilot. Despite talking about Metallica and the order of their album releases, this is the part of the show where we take a look at the pilot we're talking about.
I'm sorry.
No, I want to know what Garage Days is too. We do the intro and the outro show is Wings from the television show of the 90s. Wings.
Best sitcom,
arguably the best show of all time.
second best.
What's the first?
Golden Girls.
Nah, see, that's where you and I have to part ways again. The scale is a 1 to 7.
Hey, folks, any listeners out there want to do a Golden Girls podcast with me? Just give me an email at couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com.
Do not send it there. Send it to Blake at ibwip.com, please. Keep our Couch Pilots podcast at gmail.com clean of all Golden Girls. Roy Biggins is the worst you're going to get. That's the worst character on the wing, so he's a number 1. And the best character you got is Brian Hackett, and that's a number 7. That's a perfect show right there. And I've handed out a couple 7s.
You have. You've been throwing them out like...
You know what? I can't. It's just like people getting mad about DSJ having Down syndrome. I can't control that.
Right.
I can't control how good these shows are, how I react to them.
Good point.
And you know what? I'm not going to behoove you any ones that you've given out.
I've given a lot of ones out. I thought about this, and I was like, I sometimes feel like I maybe am too hard on these shows, but then I've seen The Tribe, and you haven't.
Well, as long as you keep rubbing it in my face, that'll be fine. Blake, I turn to you. Galaxy Beat. Rate it.
For me, it's right down the middle. It's not horrible. We've seen a lot worse. It's not great. We've seen a lot better. I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, that is actually...
I give it a 4 because it has potential and boobs.
Really? Okay.
It has potential.
I thought you would have given it higher because of the boobs.
Well, I was going to give it a 3, but because of the potential and the boobs, I gave it a 4.
She says, let me get something off my chest. The camera is facing the front of the treadmill in her front. And when she says that, she turns around, she takes her top off, or she takes her top off while looking at the camera, but you see like high chest up.
You see the crest.
And then she turns, and as she's turning, you can really almost see full boobage. And for that reason alone, I thought you'd give it higher.
Higher than a 4?
I thought so.
Wow.
I didn't hate this show. I actually enjoyed a lot of it. I think that the actors, definitely, they were good.
Yeah.
They all seem to be doing well and enjoying it, and in the theme and the spirit of the show. I give Galaxy Beat a 5.
Ooh,
I think that's, and the boobs didn't hurt at all too.
Oh, hey-oh.
Wipe the sweat from our brow. You know, combined with what we lost earlier, the longest episode we've ever done.
Yeah, it was basically 3 hours.
Oh my God!
And we got another one to do. We got another flight right after this.
9:30. Jesus Christ! That's it. I've had enough of Galaxy Beat. We got to move on to the next one. Join us next time when we watch the pilot episode of a show inspired by the movie of the same name, Clerks. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Another day in the life of Dante and Randall from Kevin Smith's indie film. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in your iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes. Or, if you must, go to YouTube and search out Couch Pilots. Don't go there.
Don't.
Go to YouTube and search Clerks Pilot. You'll find it. I did.
If you go to YouTube and you search Couch Pilots, you will find a Couch Pilots YouTube page.
Yeah, it's there.
It doesn't have anything on it, but it's there.
But subscribe to it anyway, right?
Yeah, subscribe to it.
Make us want to add to it.
We've made 3 cents on the IBWIP when I've only had that open for 5 years.
Nice. What else do you want to say about...
I just want to remind everybody, we're all over social media. We have a Tumblr. We have Twitter, Facebook.
Yep.
But what we really want is you to tell folks about this show. I mean, you had to have laughed a couple times, at least 3. You know, and we want your friends to laugh 3 times. But we can only do so much. Social media has
limitations,
algorithms that block you from leaving their social media. Facebook, you can put all the links in the world, but it's only a third of the people that you're friends with are going to see it because they don't want you leaving Facebook. They lose money.
They leave it because you got too much crap. You mean, right?
Well, no, they don't. They won't. If you click a link that takes you off of Facebook somewhere else, they don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
So tell your friends about the show. Email us. We would love to hear from you. couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. Are you going to be able to do the second episode?
I'm getting a little drowsy.
Okay. Two beers.
Wow, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
I really wouldn't space rape anybody. Please don't hold me to that.
It's too late. It's too late. It's on. It's on. Yeah.
It's on Miramax.
Thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward
What was the name
to
of that?
seeing you on board again in the near future.
Galaxy Beat.
Have a nice
No.
day.
What was the name of the Memorex. The blank tapes?
Yeah, Memorex. This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.